What's the worst example of cognitive dissonance you've seen in real life?
People complaining about other people's driving while committing the same errors, but it's okay because they are in a hurry.
So grandmother died this year, of cancer, that she had for 10 years. She refused to get treated, refused Srays because she believed Srays would give her cancer.
My alcoholic husband, who is completely off the rails and rapidly drinking himself to death and tearing my and our kids' hearts apart, sitting in his chair rambling on about how sorry he feels for a friend who is dealing with a loved one's drug addiction.
When the pandemic started, a friend of mine got really obsessed with the fact that you can't leave your home or go near people without a mask, etc. Only thing is, it never reflected in his own actions. He judged others but did not follow guidelines himself. He worked at a grocery store at the time and refused to wear a mask his boss told him to wear, meanwhile complaining about people coming to the store without masks and putting his health at risk.
People on government disability payments talking about cutting welfare.
Brexit voters who live in Spain and other parts of the EU, voting to kick out foreigners without realizing that they are the foreigners is peak cognitive dissonance.
Me, continuing to log into Reddit every day.
An American flag next to Confederate flag. They were opposite sides of the same war.
Hitler didn't kill any Jews and he didn't kill enough. Said by a relative, "We're German." And to be clear, technically, A. Hitler didn't kill any Jews personally, as far as I'm aware. B. 0 is never enough if you desire any positive number, and C. He said it to me and it was unmistakable how he actually meant it. Oh, and E. The guy just isn't smart enough to intentionally imply this technicality.
Ugh. I had a, now ex, best friend who had a pregnancy scare. She was super pro-life, very conservative Republican. I asked her what she was going to do and what support she needed from me, and she said she was considering getting an abortion if she was pregnant. When I seemed surprised, she said, "Well, it's different for me. I'm not a slut like those other girls. I'm not ready for a baby. It's different." We stopped being friends after that. I couldn't handle it anymore. People who have generational wealth, but then claim they pulled themselves up by their bootstraps and worked their ass off to get where they are, while claiming everyone else is just lazy.
People who purport to live their lives like Jesus, and yet are hateful and judgmental, and non-accepting, which is the exact opposite of what the man was about, historically.
Simultaneously a Chinese bioweapon and just a cold.
Illegal immigrants are taking our jobs. I wouldn't have a problem with illegal immigrants if they would work instead of coming here to live off of welfare. Said within minutes of each other out of the same mouth.
This weather is crazy. It was never like this when I was a kid. Meets climate change is a hoax. My mom, who has admittedly come so far since this era, used to point out the trashy Russian ladies in the grocery store and say that they were using food stamps paid for by her, and still have an attitude. Meanwhile, we literally were there purchasing groceries on WIC benefits LMAO. Glad she's overcome her issues there, lol. Teachers supporting policymakers who want to cut education funding. Conversation I had with my former stepdad. Me. Ignorance is not knowing something. Right? Him. Yes. Me. Willful ignorance is knowing you aren't informed but doing nothing to change it. Right? Him. Yes. Me. So aren't you being willfully ignorant about evolution by not bothering to research how it works? Him. Instantly offended. Listen. I don't need to research evolution to know that it's impossible for a frog to transmutate into a bird. Me. I agree. It's not possible. Transmutation isn't evolution. That's a term used for alchemy to change gold into silver and isn't mentioned in evolution at all. Real evolution takes millions of years and happens because of gradual changes in DNA. Him. Storms off. I ain't got time for this. My brother sarcastically yelling, "Well, maybe I have mental issues too." moments before kicking my door in half and threatening to attack me. Met a guy who said he didn't care if sometimes kids got shot in public shootings because that's the price of having guns in a free society. Same dude also acts dramatically affected by the mere concept of abortion and says how sad it is that little unborn babies have to die. Shit is so infuriating. Like, pick a side. WTF.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.